Hi, welcome to Art Chats con la Mitotera. I'm your host, Mel Dominguez. Today we're interviewing Henry, tattooer. He has a shop over on 6th and 6th Avenue. So I feel really good about that, to have him on board. He was going to be part of our Lolo show, the lowrider show that we were going to produce at the Galeria Mitotera. We were going to do a lot of like old school lowrider drawings, like the tattoos and just everything like pen and ink. And you know what? Henry turned something in. We had people turn artwork in, and we had to postpone. So due to that postponing, here we are. We're going to interview him today and share all the things he's been working on. He's actually been open during or for right after this the reopening of the quarantine. So he's doing tattoos, and there's a barber shop up there, and so you can go get trimmed up or get tatted up on 6th and 6th. And it's called El Dorado Barber and Tattoo at 439 North 6th Avenue. Hey Henry, thank you. You saved me.
How's it going?
It's going. I can hear you pretty good. How's everything going? What are you doing?
Going good.
All right, on. I was telling everybody a little bit about you that you're an artist and a tattooer, and like you get down with just pen and ink. Can you tell everybody where you're from and what kind of art you create?
From Tucson, Arizona. I do tattoo art, fine art as well, watercolor and acrylic.
Yeah, you sat in on one of our paint nights, and you got down with the little Selena that you painted.
Oh yeah, the Selena.
Yeah, that was neat. Everybody put a little extra booty on her. I was like, okay, I see you.
Oh yeah.
So when did you get started like making art and taking it serious?
I mean, I've always been around it. My mom and dad both are artists. My dad more so. He's still doing it. Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
I've always had it kind of in my blood, you know.
No, hell yeah. Like I think you mentioned something like your dad like does lowriders, or he creates lowriders.
Oh yeah, he used to build them up and then sell them. You know?
Oh
So
man, see, lucky you got
that's
first.
in the garage.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. So what you been up to during this quarantine?
Um, it was actually kind of like a nice little break from tattooing, but I was able to work on more artwork. I did some custom shoes. I did a coloring book. I think we had talked about that a little bit.
Oh my god, that gets me excited. Just thinking about all like would you like it gave you a reason to stop tattooing, like put it on pause and like get down
Yeah,
to guys.
yeah, it was kind of nice because I was focusing a lot on tattooing, which is fine because it's my income, you know. But it was nice to have a little break and work on art for myself.
Oh man, no, that's cool. How has things been going since you've opened like did the reopening of your shop?
It's been good. I mean, there's different changes like wearing masks and stuff and more sanitizing. I mean, we're good with sanitation and everything, but it's just a little more extra precautions.
Right? It's kind of freaky as an artist
Yeah,
because the sci-fi stories start coming out like, oh, like we're wearing masks, you know?
yeah. All, all these sci-fi movies.
Right? But when we were chit-chatting, we started discussing the fact that there's a large opportunity to do kind of like art therapy with others,
Yeah.
you know, because best coloring book. What kind of coloring book was it? Like, what style was it in?
I couldn't find a copy of it because I actually sold out of them, which is awesome. But it was mostly like some old tattoo designs or some things that I hadn't tattooed before, and I just had the line drawing and I
Dude, it's
made it
gonna show up on a pattern. Someone's gonna.
right. Somebody's like, "That's my tattoo."
That's pretty sweet though. And what did you name it something like special or with like what was the title on it?
No, it was just Henry Tattooer's coloring book, you know.
Uh, that's dope though, man. And you sold them for like what, like $10?
It was $10, yeah.
Oh
And
man,
I made them a little bit cheaper because I didn't know how it was gonna go at first. But I think I'm gonna do another round of them and do a different concept.
Like so I'd like a signed copy. Like,
Do a signing at the shop.
yeah. Oh, hey, I'm down. If you're down, I'm down. That's dope. Because that's something that you entered to one of our art shows was ¿cómo se llama? Like a handkerchief,
Oh yeah, it was a
a
ball
vinyl.
handkerchief. I actually have it right here.
Oh, can you share that with the audience?
I don't know if you guys can see it or not.
Oh, look, I see my the reflection. Oh, there we go. Oh man,
Yeah.
see that.
Lowrider fire.
How many of those kind of pieces do you have right now?
Um, I've done a few over the past. I've given some away, or I just haven't finished them. You know, I have another one at the shop.
Oh, that's the weird. I just heard you say that you gave some away.
Yeah, a lot of times I give art away.
What? What's up? I need some of your art over here.
Right? I'd
Yeah.
rather give it away than it sitting in a drawer or something. You know?
Damn. But how much would you sell something like that?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to price stuff.
Eh. I know you're like, how much is my rent? Like,
Right? How much is the bill today?
yeah. I mean, that's how it is. For the working artist. And I appreciate it. There's actually a collector base with baño art, and that's an art show that I wanted to kind of hold at the Galeria,
Yeah.
and I wanted to tie the jailhouse art,
Okay.
to have that kind of a show, because right now there's people in other nations, other countries, and they're into this type of cultural art. So you
Yeah.
got to start right there, Henry.
Well,
Yeah, no. Oh, wait a minute. We also talked about something it was also cultural. So being a tattooer, you've seen certain tattoos that meant something like the teardrop or like the spider web tattoo. There's people that are just getting this tatted. Can you tell us all about the different types of styles of tattoos?
I mean, there's like everybody's familiar with like the Chicano black and gray style. There's also like a lot of people are familiar with like Sailor Jerry or Ed Hardy. Those are all like traditional tattoos. They call them traditional style because that's kind of like where it started. Other than like back in the day, like New Zealand tattoos, they were like some of the first people to get tattooed.
Yeah,
But
no, start with
tattooing,
like a
yeah,
hammer. Oh, I'm like,
yeah. But traditional tattoos are a lot of like military, Navy base and stuff. They would come down to the pike and get tattooed.
see, that's dope. I mean, but you were also mentioning that up until 1993, it was illegal in New York.
I think it was somewhere in like early '90s. It was still illegal to tattoo in New York.
That sounds so trippy to me because I'm like, man, I see folks all tatted all the way up and
Yeah.
stuff.
But it was like a real underground thing, you know?
Wow.
Only now is it becoming mainstream with all the TV shows and everything.
Yeah, because sometimes that lifestyle, I'm like, it could get a little bit rough depending on where you're at.
It used to be, yeah, you were either in prison, you're a biker, gang member.
Right? And you know somebody, you gotta know somebody, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, how about this? What's your favorite style of tattoo to give somebody?
Honestly, I do a lot of black and gray just because like I was taught that like right away. That was the first thing I learned. But honestly, like the traditional style, I like doing a lot too. And
Damn.
some of the paintings I do are actually watercolors, and it's in that style.
Oh, damn. That would be a dope show right there.
Yeah.
Of all that water, like tattoo, it's changed. There's so many different styles, and I've even seen where they keep, like when people pass away and they keep the skin.
Oh yeah.
See,
It's,
Henry knows about it. Melissa's all making a face over here, like,
they do like the Japanese yakuza bodysuits. There's actually a museum that stores them. Like they cut them off of the back and everything.
it it's dope, but that shit's spooky as hell. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, I don't even like owning like gift like thrift shop clothes because I'm worried. I'm like, what if someone died in this shit? Like,
I used to go to the thrift stores all the time.
see what? Me too, but I always had that thought. I'm like, fuck. You're like,
Yeah. Have that like smell. You're all, I don't know.
I know, right? Nah. No, wait, but there's something.
So with different needles, like, and different, like, do you know, like, what's the? Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me. I'll slow myself down because I'm thinking about like how I got some of my tattoos. Like, you know, like them how they set them up with batteries.
Yeah, like like those are made with like a Walkman motor and an empty pen and a guitar string is the needle, a sharpened guitar string. A lot of that
Have you?
they make in prison.
Yeah. Have you used something like that before?
I've never used one. No, I have a few at the shop that clients have brought me.
Yeah. It seems crazy because I'm like, if you have a professional tattoo gun or like needle, like you're working with something that's used for that.
Yeah,
And if you went back to this old school one, like what would the challenges be? Like the differences, you know?
it's different because that's a single needle, so everything's done like line work, shading, and everything is done with that one needle. And obviously, it hurts more.
Ouch.
But if you look at it, somebody like took that idea and re-engineered it and made the newer machines. So they're similar. They come from the same concept.
See, that's dope. A lot of times I'll find stuff like that, like at yard sales or junkyards, and I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna save this. And it could be old as heck, but I like making like little shadow boxes out of that old school tools and stuff.
That's what I
I'm
have at
like,
the shop is one of those machines in a shadow box.
oh, that you already know about that kind of magic, dude. That's
Yeah.
I, all this tattooing is like it's like the oldest like form of art, right?
Yeah. It's been I can't remember the dates, but New Zealanders were tattooing their faces and stuff a long time ago. Yeah. And there's
Dude,
even
that's
they're finding like artifacts and like bodies when they have like tattoos on them, you know, from like I don't know, like BC or something.
but that stuff it's wild to me because it's like once you have one, you kind of understand. I mean, depending on who you are, like it could be straight for the love of art and you know tattooing on your body, or for some people it could be like a placa, like you're from a neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah.
You cover those things?
Do I cover them?
Yeah, like well, do you actually do you make like hood tattoos for people?
Not really. I haven't really done anything like that. No, I don't think I would either. You know,
Oh, good. Well, yeah. I mean, it makes sense, but
it's
it's a
the
trip.
yeah, it's the same thing. Like if a kid walks in and he wants his neck tattooed or his hands tattooed, I'm really going to discourage it because I wouldn't want to be the reason they can't get a job. You know.
Oh, see, that still happens. That see, my mom told me that she's like, "You're already Mexican. You better not." I was like, "Damn, you
You're
suck."
already
You know. But you know what? My mom always would give me the craziest street advice, and but that's why I took it. Otherwise, I would have all the placa. I was like, you know, but I do have one on my ear, and coincidentally, a cousin of mine, like we lost connection because you know, he actually he got linked up with a like a gang in LA, and he ended up dying. And I didn't know until his death that he actually had his his ears tatted just like mine. And I was like, this is weird, dude.
wow. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Or even my ice cream man. Well, when we had an ice cream man, I don't know where he went, but his whole arm was tattooed with like Marvel comics and stuff. I
Uh,
was like,
yeah,
do you do
that's
any things like that?
yeah, like the Marvel comics and stuff.
You
That's part of the stuff that I started drawing was like Superman comics and stuff like
see the inking on those is dope too, right?
that. Yeah.
Oh Lord. I mean, I look at all those graphics because they're all black and white, and I'm like, but I've always looked at people's tattoos. I even stop people on the road because I'm like, Mister, stop. And he's wearing fake leather, you know? And I'm like, in the summertime. And I'm like, yo, let me see this tattoo. And I take a picture. It's a unicorn. So the guy's like, have you ever seen those dudes come through?
No,
No, I always wonder, I'm like, are they from the old school generation where they got really drunk and got this crazy tattoo?
it might be. You know.
Have you ever done cover ups?
Yeah, I do. I do quite a few cover-ups. Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Do you feel like you're like, I got this, I'm gonna make this look sick?
Sometimes, but sometimes it's like something you can't really cover up. You know, like it's just not going to work. Whatever you add to it, And I always tell people, like, it's not going to be like a miracle. Like, it's not just going to erase itself, you know? And I would rather tell them no than them not be happy with what I put on top of it, you know?
Man, sometimes it breaks your heart because you're like, I wanted this tattoo right here. Like, dude, also, wait a minute. How do people get a hold of you to make an appointment to get tatted?
Usually through Instagram and Facebook. Everything's under Henry Tattooer.
Right on. That's the best way, huh?
Yeah, it's the easiest way.
And how booked are you right now? Like, if someone wanted to like schedule something, like, how
Right
soon
now,
can they?
I'm still booking into July. I'm only going month by month just because of all the COVID stuff. I don't want to book out too far and then have to cancel on people.
I know. I've been thinking about our lifetime in the space that we live in because we face so many things. I mean, back to back as a young people, you know, and having to already feel the pain of not being a millionaire, like, you know, and then to know that this is like continually happens. Oh, look at see, we got somebody out there saying we appreciate all the cover-ups, Henry.
They've got some awesome work by me. I appreciate them.
Right on, dude. You know what? You got me thinking about wanting to see all kinds of your art. When are you thinking of producing this coloring book again? When can we see something come through?
Probably soon. Now that you brought it up, I've been like, the gears have been going, you know, starting to think of
Hell
it.
yeah.
I have some stuff like lined up that I'll probably like start putting out, you know.
See, and oh, you have some tattoo masks, is what she's saying.
Oh yeah, I made some masks. I'm gonna be making more. I actually sold out again.
What?
So I ordered some from eBay, like some more masks, and then we're gonna get them printed. It has like the little Cortez logo, you know. That's my last name, so it's a little Cortez logo, and then my Instagram and Facebook handle.
Oh, that's dope, man. I didn't know that. See, Melissa keeps me up to date. Let me tell you.
Right.
What's going on, you know, but it's because I feel like everything's moving really fast, but that's the most important thing about doing interviews like this, so the audience out there that's watching you live, that they know how they can get a hold of you, you know.
Yeah.
They can, for a tattoo, they could get some coloring books shipped out, and maybe some more of those baño arts that you're creating.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I like doing those. They take some time, but they're fun.
No, but I'm like you in that way, where you like, you have an idea and it's like a solution to something. You're like, oh shit, like dimension, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So one of these days we gotta have a baño show together. If it's all, I'm trying to get that together. That, and I also want to get some sort of sponsorship from Big Pen.
That'd be a good idea. Yeah.
What kind of pen do you use? What do you like?
It's big.
Yeah. Do you do that thing where you roll it like this to warm it up?
I've never done that. No, is that a good thing?
It's one of my things. I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, it's gonna...
thing is using an old one. It can't be like fresh out of the box because the ink's gonna flow like too well.
Right?
So yeah.
Isn't that a trip? That stuff. This guy, I think the guy that invented it, it was for World War II because everybody was going into airplanes. They needed a certain mechanism inside of that rolling ball to work in the elevation where all these guys were up so they can make notes, right?
That makes sense. So the ink can flow.
Dude, I'm trying to get both of us sponsored here.
Right? The first ever tattoo machine was like an ink pen.
See?
They had like jars of ink, and Thomas Edison actually created like the first patent for it.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not.
Dude, I love all that stuff when guys make things work. Oh, when I say guys, there's women out there that make things work.
Yeah.
But today, Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to everybody out there, and to the mothers that are fathers too. I don't know. But you know what? I mean, this time when we have like quarantine and stuff, your thought process is changing. You're an artist, right? So what can we look forward to? Are you or do you have something other than your tattoo stuff? Like, what else are you pushing out there?
I'm probably gonna be making more shirts. I do a lot of merch throughout the year, like shirts and stickers, stuff like that. There's another shirt that I'm collaborating with somebody actually a girl from the shop. I have a picture on my Instagram of it. It's a lowrider hearse.
Oh, I saw that.
All cars are beautiful, and if you get the acronym, you'll.
Hell yeah, dude. Dope, dude.
And we're donating all the proceeds to Tucson reparations.
Wow, dude. That's dope. I'm like, that's what I've been fascinated by, because it's a trip, like the uncertainty of times and the fact that our mountains are still burning. I think I've given 2 interviews and there's mountains burning.
Yeah. That's what's crazy is that we're talking here, but there's like all kinds of stuff going on in the world.
Right, but the artist is what we open those doors so that a lot of the people out there. That's why I think your coloring book is important, because there's a lot of folks that you can't outwork. You have to think about your health and safety and the health and safety of others. So being at home, I'm all shit. There's adults that want to color.
Yeah, for real. That's why I did it, because I saw like people talking about color books and stuff like that, and I thought like, well, I have these line drawings, like why not put it together and make a coloring book out of it?
I mean, hell yeah, and well, there's things coming up that I most definitely I want to touch base with you on, like other projects, because that's my biggest thing is like I get excited being part of that project. Like, man, with Thomas Edison, man, shit, I wish I was there, or Jay Dilla. I mean, everything. I just love the sensation of being passionate about art.
Yeah. And right now it's good to be like, because it's visual, like people want to see like good visual like representation,
And then if you're doing this like transformation, you are located on 439 North 6th Avenue, where 6th and 6th hit.
6th, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, you're right where the what we call gentrification.
Yeah.
So
the warehouse industry.
Right. So, but where does it go now? Because now you're there. Now you got culture going in there. Now you're like super entrepreneurial because you got your coloring book. What inspires you to move on next to the next thing?
I mean, the next thing, I hope things open up, because when I'm tattooing, I actually travel a lot when I do conventions and stuff. There's tattoo conventions. I'd like to travel overseas obviously when things get better. But as far as for business, we'd like to expand eventually. We're barber and tattoo, so we'd like to have another barber, another artist eventually.
See,
but for the first few years, we just wanted to grow the business.
Yeah, no, that's dope. And I'm thinking about, I'm like, shit, the conventions must be crazy.
Yeah, they're fun.
They're fun. What kind of music do you work with? Like when you're tattooing and stuff, like do you put something on when you're painting?
Yeah. We always have when I'm tattooing, we always have music going and everything. I mean, it ranges from like old school hip hop to like, I don't know if you know Prayers, Cholo Ga. Prayers, the band.
Wait, yes, dude, I do.
Oh, yeah.
But it sucks because you know what? I've been a accommodator, like a consumer, where I just listen to Spotify or I listen to a radio, and it just goes on and on and on. But there's no announcements of who's playing.
Oh yeah, that's what I do is run Spotify, and it makes me like the daily mixes or whatever, and we just put those on at the shop.
Yeah. Hey, that girl Kat Von D, because that's her husband, right?
Yeah.
So my younger brother, he's in Los Angeles, off of Whittier Boulevard in East LA, and he's got a raspado shop.
Okay.
Where they do the chamango and all the diablo and all these things, right? And fresh fruit. Kat Von D walked in.
Oh really?
Hell yeah, my little brother got a picture. He's got a raspado and shit. I'm like,
yeah.
How crazy. See, this is what I'm talking about. Entrepreneurship, cultural, and like being a tattooer guy. Like, their marketing, how much did they do as a brand?
Yeah. What do you mean as far as like how much do I do?
Oh, well, because you're there right now. Like, you're an entrepreneur. You're there you have a barber. You're a tattooist. You're right in the middle of where it's becoming very diverse in a gentrified sort of way.
Yeah.
Like building ground, but you want to go and expand to other countries and do things. You're like right where like Kat Von D was walking in, being like, okay, I got a lip gloss line or a lipstick line. You know what I'm saying?
Well, she started like from her tattooing, and then she like got picked up on the shows and stuff, so that made her popular. But I
And then
think
brand.
the traveling is where you kind of network with people and you get to know other people. It helps getting out there. I think sometimes you get stuck in your four walls, and you think that's it. But I like to travel because you get to just learn new things, you meet new people, and you can network.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm thinking about it now. Have you ever? What's the strangest place you've ever gone to give someone a tattoo?
I only mainly tattoo at the shop,
Oh,
just for
okay.
monetary reasons.
Oh, you're right.
But
I mean, because I
other than
actually
that, just tattoo
this
commitment.
right this guy he posted on Instagram. He was tattooing some dudes up in the airplane.
Oh yeah. I mean, if they're gonna pay you to do that, why not?
Right. Well, that's why I'm thinking of you next, because that's what happens. Like a lot of times, like right now at this very moment, you can have like a beard oil, Henry Barber beard oil or something,
Yeah.
or like a lotion for your tattoos after you get a tattoo or something.
We've actually talked about. I don't know if you know what green soap is.
Yeah.
It's the soap that we use while we're tattooing to clean it off and everything. We know a guy that makes pomade in town locally, and he's thinking about a green soap scent. You know,
Dude,
so
that
it's
was.
like tattoo related, and then we can brand it with our shop.
See, that's why that part, that all that stuff, I like hearing entrepreneurs do that stuff, because that's dope. I'm like, I knew him before
Yeah,
he got and got like a Cholo Golf mansion.
I wish.
Have you seen their property?
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm
She's
like,
got
oh my,
money, so they can pretty much do whatever they want.
dude, it's
But
amazing.
those guys are awesome. Rafael and Dave.
But how do you explain Cholo Golf for folks who are like don't know nothing about it?
I think it's based on because he was a gang member, or he's still like San Diego, Sherman gang, and they do goth music, like it's kind of based off of like the '80s, like synth music.
It's a trip though. You walk in, you're like, oh, I'm gonna go to this house party, and like you see a bunch of cholos, and all of a sudden you hear goth music. What the?
Yeah, I like that stuff.
Oh hell yeah, that's happened before. Where I show up and I'm like, whoa, what am I doing here? Like because of the mix, but it's nice to see what's going on out there. Like somebody's making something out of themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of homeboys, not for nothing, I see them and you're like, dude, you could have been famous, dude. Like people were sleeping on that sound. Like you should have jumped. Like they don't fit in a box. You know.
Yeah, I love that. Like just kind of stepping out of the box and like just going for it. I'm sure somebody discouraged them along the way, and they could have stopped.
Damn, dude, we need to get you some of them, like a sponsorship with bands. You know how they give you the blank ones?
I know.
Would you do something like that?
Yeah, that'd be
Let's
awesome.
let's make
There's
contact,
artists that
dude. So before we go, tell us like your biggest dream. You just want, that's your biggest thing, is you want to go out there and travel and tattoo, or what's your biggest dream?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to travel overseas. That'd be the ultimate goal. Um, just expand the business. Yeah,
Where would be your first stop? Japan?
I think I've always wanted to go to Spain, so I think I'd
Or
park there.
dude,
But anywhere overseas that I can get to.
that's dope. I hope you really need to go visit Spain. I have a cousin out in Malaga, and my God, just the cities you roll through, Henry, is beautiful. And talk about inspiration. It feels like you're in a dream.
Yeah, that's what
Look,
it's all about. I'm sure it's real inspiring.
yeah,
Art, architecture.
man. Where have you traveled out before? Where have you been?
Mostly in the States. The last convention I did was Salt Lake City.
Whoa, how was that?
That's actually like a really popular one, and it's really busy. That's
Yeah.
probably the best convention I do all year.
Wow, man. And people, they flock. They come in from out of town to go to that.
Yeah, it's basically like you're walking into one big tattoo shop, and it's all like walk-in, But you have like 1 to 200 booths, and there's at least 2 artists per booth. So you
Damn,
kind of have your pick of who you want to get tattooed by.
that's sick.
Yeah.
That is so sick. I miss going to stuff like that because there's other vendors there, right?
Yeah, there's all
Like,
kinds of vendors, and sometimes they have car shows and everything outside.
what?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like a big, like, there's all kinds of culture and all kinds of styles of tattooing, music, art, cars.
weren't you raffling off a lowrider?
I was, yeah. I canceled the raffle, but I ended up still selling it.
Oh, you did. How much did you end up selling it for? If you don't mind me asking for everybody.
I actually traded it for a motorcycle and another car.
Ew! What kind of motorcycle?
It's a Harley.
Oh, dude. So that's a come up.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna sell them. I'm not gonna ride the bikes. Yeah.
What kind of Harley is it?
I think it's a Fat Boy. Yeah.
Oh, Melissa's father owns one of those.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a biker out in Colorado.
It was a good trade. It was worth my car, But I have 2 other projects in the works that I'm going to be building still. I can't get away from the lowriders.
That's dope. Both of the, I mean, man, I'm like, that must have been hella fun just doing the trade.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy because I'd had that car almost 10 years. Yeah. But it was time to go and time to move on.
That's cool to have fun with another machine. Damn, dude. I actually want to try to build a bobber.
Oh yeah.
Just to have fun with it. I don't know. It's something in my system because we've been on a lot of road trips.
Yeah.
And on a motorcycle, forget about it, dude. I don't want to come back home.
Right? It's like,
She's gonna kill me after this, dude.
he's all.
She's like, you're dead, dude. I'm like, ugh. No, but you know what? I think that's fantastic. Everything that you're doing. I mean, you're fun to talk with. People just don't know, dude. Like, the art you're putting out there is super dope. You gotta check him out. He's on 6th Avenue. You gotta call. You gotta direct message for an appointment with him.
Yeah, and I have all my info in my bio, my cell phone, my email, however you want to contact me.
Hell yeah, this is gonna be dope. I'm so glad I know you now. Man, I can't even remember how I know you. I'm like,
I
I'm like,
think it was
at a
some
show.
of the events you guys put on.
Yeah. I'm like, but now I'm thinking, I'm like, man, was he at this other show? Like,
I might have been, yeah.
now I see your face. I'm like, oh shit,
Get out there, and then the shop's by my house, so even
I
if work or going to work, I usually try to stop by.
see, and that's my other big thing. I want to do a big paint takeover of South Tucson, just so everybody knows. I'm gonna get all the local artists together to do this. We're gonna get them paid. But Henry, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come and chit chat with us here at the Galeria Mitotera.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll talk to you soon, man. You have a great week.
You too.
All right, peace.